Tradition. You can't buy it. It's earned the hard way over decades and eras. On the field, on the road, in the mud. With guts and with grit, and firm belief that today could be our day. The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is back. Still alive, still kicking, the oldest prize in American soccer. 96 teams, part-timers to major leaguers. Survive and move on, lose, and you go home. So we call all underdogs, dreamers, and believers. And we ask you again, one simple question. Are you up for the cup?
It is quickly becoming a nearly annual fixture between Des Moines Menace and Union Omaha as they meet tonight at Valley Stadium in West Des Moines, Iowa. Des Moines Menace, a side latching on to some older pros trying to find the glory once again against a side in terrific form in Union Omaha. Winners of the USL League One title last year, the double in USL League One, trying to carry that success now into Open Cup. Very much a clash between these two teams. We're happy to have you with us for it tonight. Alongside Manchester United great Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malfa. Very interesting resumes between these two teams. Des Moines, a 31-year-old club that just tries to find the fun in this tournament, and they do so with the lineup they have tonight. Union Omaha, a new club beginning in 2020. They've found terrific success in the infancy of their club. So two very different histories for these clubs, but they meet again for a third time tonight in Open Cup. Des Moines coming off of a very fun win in some bad weather against Sporting Kansas City 2 last game.
Yeah, courtesy of a couple of penalties. Benny Feilhaber being tripped up. Sasha Kleshton just dispatches that right down the middle. Then the home side got one back. A very famous name, Beckham, but this case Beckham Uderitz, and they played some good soccer, but another penalty. This time Nzagouzi tripped, and who steps up against Sasha Kleshton right down the middle, yet again for victory.
And Union Omaha had to wait an extra day because of some weather for their match in the opening round, but they get through flat irons.
Yeah, Joshua Gomez sticking this one in from a fairly tight angle. Good finish there. That was in the 28th minute. And then a penalty from Gallardo sealed the deal for them. In the end, a 2-1 win, but they're through to the next round.
And the lineups, we'll see a lot of familiar faces again on the Des Moines side. Not quite all the ones we saw last week. Benny Feilhaber dropped to the bench, could see him later. But that murderer's row of 2015 MLS Best 11 players, Dax McCarty, Sasha Kleshton, Bradley Wright Phillips once again.
Yeah, it's a balance, with some younger players as well. And it's a very clever balance, I think. On the bench, Ozzy Alonso's there, Benny Feilhaber, you mentioned, Victor Joa. No Justin Merrim from the last game or AJ De La Garza not available for various business reasons. For Union Omaha, just one change from their team that beat South Georgia Tomenta last time out. No Samuel Owusu. Brent Kalman comes in the back there. It's, guess, a 4-3-3 shape. And some good strikers up front in Gallardo, Gomez, and Oz Navarro.
For you Omaha fans who might have been wondering, Rashid Nuhu has just not been fit to play yet. He is available on the bench. Backup goalkeeper tonight, Cole Jensen gets to start again. And Cole Jensen has impressed early on. He was signed initially to a 25-day contract. That converted today into a full-time contract. So he punctuates that historic day for himself with that full-time contract now by starting here in Open Cup. Captain's out for the coin toss. It's Marco Milanese for Union Omaha and Sasha Kleshton for Des Moines Menace, who are in the black and red tonight. Omaha in the white. It's interesting, again, these two teams, the resumes sort of clash. It's the younger club, Omaha, 6 years old, that are the favorites. They are the higher division side. They are the USL League One team, the champions of that league. It's the older, more historic team, Des Moines Menace, 31 years old, that are the amateurs, even though they have MLS Best 11 players in their background. So it's an interesting oxymoron, if you will, yes, based on the resumes of these two teams versus which team actually comes into this game as the favorite, as the higher division side, being Union Omaha.
Yeah, it'd be very confusing if you went away 10 years ago and came right back and you think, hang on a second, all these great players. But what they've done here today, which I quite like, is against Sporting Kansas City 2, only one player, outfield player, was under the age of 32 for Des Moines Menace. And you could see the legs were not quite as strong as they used to be. Today, they've got 5 under 30 years of age. It's a very good balance that Coach Charlie Latshaw III has put out there. And I think in mind, as you say, Union Omaha double champions last year in USL League One. They know they're up against a very good side, a very well-organized team that's going to move the ball around, and they probably felt they needed some younger legs on the pitch.
And Dom Casciano, the head coach, was not happy with the way they started their season, a 3-0 loss against Greenville. Wasn't too fond of their performance in Open Cup, squeaking by 2-1 over Flatirons, but they responded with a 3-1 win over South Georgia Tormenta last time out. It's a quirky start to the season for Union Omaha. They had some time off early, then they had the weather delay, pushing their travel and their game back a day last round. Now they have another little bit of a break. No game on the weekend. They play next Wednesday. It's a very stop-start sort of bit to begin the season. Tough to get into a rhythm that way. They're looking for another strong performance tonight to build off of what was a strong performance a couple of days ago against South Georgia Tormenta. And for Des Moines, their season begins end of May. They won't have any of these MLSers when they begin their USL 2 season. They're here for a good time. We'll see if they're here for a long time, if they can get through to round 3 here tonight. Finally at home here in Open Cup. Last year, both games on the road. Their first round game this year on the road. Now at home here at Valley Stadium. From right to left in the black, Omaha left to right in the white. Waiting on the whistle of our referee to send us on our way. And now we go. Nope, nope. Take 2. Take 3, actually. At first, Gallardo duped them into starting early. And then he went without the whistle. The anticipation building, Gary.
Well, it certainly is. I mean, you've got so many wonderful players, and yes, they're now a little bit older than their prime, but still, to see Sasha Kleshton in full flow, and Dax McCarty and Moises Hernandez, it's Matt Hedges. I'm sure a lot of fans of the game just have been looking forward to this match for a long time.
And after a properly taken kickoff, we're finally underway. And the weather much better for Des Moines than it was last round. 30, 40 mile an hour winds in a driving rainstorm against Sporting Kansas City. Happy to have you with us this evening for what should be a fun one. You talk about the magic of this tournament and the teams that fans just tend to get behind. El Farolito, one of those sides you and I had to call last night as they pulled off another cup set. This Des Moines team also falls into that category. They've become a fan favorite because of this retiree aspect. People calling them Retirement FC or any sort of play on words with that. But they've become a fan favorite in that way, just following along which friends of Sasha Kleshton will join next. On the flip side, Union Omaha are a terrific fan favorite over the last few years. They made the quarterfinal in their inaugural Open Cup back in 2022, and that won over the hearts of many. So we've got a clash of 2 fan favorites here in this one tonight, and it sets up for a fun one.
Talking about the fun, some of the fans at SKC2 were singing AARP to the Des Moines Menace players.
You're well aware of that, Gary.
Thank you, I am, yes. But again, just to make the point, only one outfield player under the age of 32 on that day. A lot of them around 39, Bradley Wright Phillips 40. And so, you know, the crowd were having a bit of fun, but it was a very, very old team in that sense. A much, much better balanced side here tonight with half the team experienced and pushing towards 40, but the other half in their mid-20s and able to cover some ground.
I mentioned El Farolito a moment ago. They are watching, rooting for every pro team tonight because they're so far the only amateur side that has made it through yesterday. If all the pro teams win in the 10 matches we have today, El Farolito already clinches the prize for the furthest advancing amateur side, which would net them $50,000 in prize money. So they are rooting for all the pros tonight.
It's a pro side, Union Omaha, with Dom Casciato at the helm, back-to-back champions. And we were chatting to Charlie Latshaw and others. They think that Dom Casciato is going to move up big time very soon. Could be his last season at Union Omaha. So expect a well-organized side. They've played under him for a while. Yes, there are a few new players coming in, but generally it's players that have played for him. And I don't think it'll be easy for Des Moines Menace to find weaknesses in this Union Omaha side.
They've done a good job of keeping a lot of that core intact that won that double title last year. Some changes on the periphery, some really good acquisitions to help retool more so than rebuild for some of the talent they lost. Sergio Ors Navarro in the starting 11 today will be on the wing, coming out of the college ranks at West Virginia. Was the 2024 Sun Belt Player of the Year, and in his debut last match for Omaha against Tormenta had a goal and an assist. So that's a new face in the mix, but a good one for Omaha. Here is Ors Navarro Works it inside for Brendan Knapp. And the offside flag comes up just to try and make this as easy as possible. If you can see them, we're playing the black lines. On the far side, the black sideline, you see the box on the right side. Try to ignore the best you can the football lines, the American football lines. We are going by the black lines, and it gets a little confusing down here on this near side. You see that white line there. It's another demarcation from the football field. We are playing the black lines.
It's not always easy to adjust. It might be easier on the pitch because you have a sense of where the lines are as opposed to having to look. But up here, it's very confusing.
You're guaranteed at least once a game in a situation like this, somebody is going to pick up the ball with their hands at the wrong line and not realize the ball's still in play. That's $1 in the jar if it happens, Gary.
Well, when Man United toured the US back in the day when I was in the team, we played on a few of these pitches and we were lost. We didn't know where we were. We didn't know where the ball was coming from. It can be, if you're used to it, it's okay. And these players obviously are used to it. When you come from Europe, it's very difficult to figure out. Needless to say, we lost most of our matches on tour.
Kleshin put a foot in. Throw for Des Moines. You mentioned that mix between the younger and the older for Omaha, or rather for Des Moines in this one. Very different than last game, and you were starting to mention it. They pretty much have a young player paired with an old player at every position as Okawa looks into Bradley Wright Phillips on the back line. Both outside backs under 30. Both center backs experienced at 33 and 35 in the midfield. 39-year-old or 37-year-old Dax McCarty, don't want to rush him. 37-year-old Dax McCarty with 21-year-old Elton Chifamba sitting in the midfield. In this 4-2-3-1, you've got a 39-year-old Sasha Kleshin flanked by a 26-year-old in Felipe Hernandez and a 22-year-old in Yoshi Okawa playing beneath a 40-year-old in Bradley Wright Phillips. So it's a nice sort of alternating young, old throughout the lineup. You have the guys in there who can do the running, and then you have the veterans in there to bring that touch of class in the big moments.
It looks a good balance, and they should do well, but I would guess that Dom Casciado has said to his players, move the ball quickly, tire them out, because the older players will struggle to stay with the pace. And so I'm expecting Union Omaha to have a lot of quick touches, quick plays, move the ball around, and say to Des Moines Menace, chase us, and also put you under high press like this. Try and get turnover ball.
Almost did so. Foul committed as Elton Chifamba was brought down. Chifamba, to those of you who follow the college game, a name that will ring familiar, was at Syracuse last year. Prior to that, 4 years at Clemson, a two-time national champion at Clemson, all-ACC player in his time in the ACC. So he has been looking to latch onto a pro side. He's gone on some trials, but using this as an opportunity here in Open Cup to get some game tape out there, and it helps everybody involved. It helps Des Moines to have somebody in that midfield who can run and wreck shop a bit, and it helps him get a game under his belt and a game on tape. As we've seen year over year, so many players end up signing just after Open Cup. And he's not the only player in this Des Moines starting 11 who is trying to use this to get signed. Matt Hedges actually as well, the 35-year-old center back, last year with Austin and MLS, has not retired yet, would like to keep going. Get a couple games here with some friends in Open Cup and then try to sign from there. Here's Ors Navarro. Knapp. Charlie Ostrom taking his space, nobody coming to him, continues on looking through, and it just rolls harmlessly out for a goal kick.
Interesting ball. There was two strikers up front there for Union Omaha, and Joe Gallardo at the far post just went past him. Sergio Ors Navarro at the near post. You can see them both in a high press. So it was a little moment of possibility there for Union Omaha. Again, I think it's going to be a busy night for Enzo Carvalho in goals there for Des Moines Menace. Especially if we look back at last season, and I'm sure you covered many of the games of Union Omaha, but they set records for goal differences, points, or rather goals per game. I mean, it wasn't just a good season, it was a fantastic season.
Yeah, in the young history of USL League One, the case could be made that was the best team and best season of all time. People go back to that first season of League One in 2019 and a North Texas squad that won the title and had names like Ricardo Pepi in the mix. In retrospect, a lot of names on that North Texas team, but it's hard to argue against last year's Omaha team being the best we've seen in League One.
There's Hernandez having a little chat with the referee there.
And Moises Hernandez, one of the new faces in for this round for Des Moines. Getting him into the starting lineup. Played last year in Open Cup with Foro, who you saw last night as an amateur side that got through round one, but lost to Tormenta last night. The other new face in this starting 11, Tommy Thompson, beside the already mentioned Elton Chifamba. Tommy Thompson, another former MLS player, spent about a decade with San Jose Earthquakes. Here's Hedges trying to get it to Thompson and give it away. Recovered though by Des Moines. Here's Dax McCarty. Of all the MLS retirees on the field today for Des Moines, Dax is the most recently removed. Did play last year, and once he started playing more in the midfield for Atlanta, it helped their season turn around. They ended up going on in the playoffs, upsetting Inter Miami in the first round in a 3-game series. Dax McCarty, a big reason why.
Good skills there. He holds onto the ball. He got held back, so the free kick awarded to him. By the way, talking about these players, you grew up watching these. They were back in the day.
Yeah, this is some interesting, fun sort of deja vu. My dad and I, season ticket holders for the Red Bulls, during that prime. Well, we go back to season ticket holders from the Metro Stars way back when, but especially during that time with Kleshton, McCarty, Bradley Wright Phillips, the supporter shields they won. I was a kid sitting in the stands, and now here they are trying to cling on, and I'm sitting next to you broadcasting it. So it was fun to see the team sheet come out and see those names pop up on it again. Here is Kleshton. Gets it up to Tommy Thompson. Okawa waiting for it. It'll be a throw for Des Moines.
Yes, you have to give credit to these players that they're still fit enough. They looked after themselves. They've been professional. That they can come out in their late 30s, and in Bradley Wright Phillips' case, 40 years of age, and still look decent, still put on a good show. That's huge credit for their professionalism.
Give it away to Gallardo. Gomez lays it back for Dion Akoff. Still Akoff trying to turn the corner on Thompson. He does. Akoff end line, and it's knocked out by Hernandez. First corner coming for Omaha.
Good pressure coming from Omaha. Nice play down this right-hand side. Just making sure that they test wherever possible with pace and with quick passing. And they test the Des Moines Menace players, seeing if they can just find that little bit of slow movement that's going to be most likely happen when you haven't been playing regularly.
Corner on by the wayside for Omaha. Had a good chat with Charlie Latshaw III, the head coach of this Des Moines team, just about what it's like right now for the club, how he even goes about coaching these veterans. I mean, you've got Benny Feilhaber sitting on the bench tonight, who's been a professional head coach for the last 3 years at MLS Next Pro. So he said he's in an interesting position where he's mostly just facilitating conversations for the time being. Charlie Latshaw, very different from what his job will be in a few weeks when the page turns to the USL 2 summer season for Des Moines. That's when they'll have a lot of college kids and younger kids in for that USL 2 season over the summer, and all those college players playing before they go off to their clubs. Look out. Hedges gives it away. Gomez takes it. Gomez goes for goal, saved by Carvalho. Once that switch gets flipped for Des Moines, that's when Latshaw has to go back more into head coach mode. He's just sort of putting together the game film studies here right now for Open Cup and facilitating conversations, and they might have a conversation about this mistake from Hedges.
Fortunately, it's out at a tight angle, and it's pretty difficult for Gomez to beat the goalkeeper from that angle, but he gets a shot on target. Credit to him.
I think it's an effort to applaud for Des Moines. At this time of year, it's tough to get a group of college guys together who are still in their spring semester before they start turning the page to next season. You don't really have a training camp because your season doesn't begin until the end of May. So how can you make this fun for everybody? Insert the serendipity that was getting in touch with Sacha Kleshton last year and expanding it this year. It's great for the club, jersey sales, the whole lot. Now defending on their heels again, deflected out for a corner, and then they go back into their summer USL 2 mode in the summer. So you could have the best of both worlds, have some Open Cup fun, and then get down to business in a few weeks' time.
You're talking about Coach Charlie Letchell III. He did say to us he put together a 30-page opposition analysis to give to all the players. So it's not like they're just arriving and putting on their boots and playing. They've obviously had to sit down. And he was saying that they flew in, they fly in for about 36 hours together, stay in a hotel, have one training session, and then sit and go through this opposition analysis. So they've certainly done some homework, have Des Moines Menace before this match.
To the back post from the corner, header saved by Carvalho. Long throw from Enzo Carvalho, trying to get Okawa on the break. Omaha on the prowl again. Max Schneider. Ostrom deflected. And officials conferring about this. No point, no signal anywhere yet. Looks like the verdict is throw down next to the corner flag for Union Omaha.
Just in that last minute, you've seen Union Omaha, well, not just the last minute, the last few minutes, knocking the ball around, finding space, going from left to right. Again, that's what I thought they would do, try and make Des Moines Menace chase the ball, get those tired legs going. And they've done it very well. They've controlled possession neatly.
So already have a change. That was a delay there. Back behind the ball, Bradley Wright Phillips taken off and replaced up top. Cade Hagen takes his spot.
Well, it's sad to see. I think a lot of fans were hoping to see a lot more of the wonderful Bradley Wright Phillips, but I guess due to his age, you never know if he just pulled something or hurt himself, and you can't take too many risks. So a 23-year-old replacing him up front.
Yeah, Bradley Wright Phillips, great history in this tournament and in MLS. Tied for 6th most goals all time in league history. But must have felt something to come out here just 15 minutes in. Made it to a final in Open Cup with the Red Bulls back in 2017. Lost to his teammate for the night, Benny Feilhaber, in that final. Cade Hagen replaces, gets more youth out there for Des Moines. The 22-year-old played collegiately at Pitt and DePaul. Was an unused sub in the first round, making his Open Cup debut tonight. Here is Hagen. His first touches. Hagen looking for support, finds it. Chifamba further back to Hedges. Moises Hernandez. They haven't had much of the ball yet, Des Moines. Set up shop here in the attacking half. Hernandez gives it away. Hernandez chasing. Hernandez currently still suspended 3 years from MLS for a second violation of the gambling policy. Kickoff slots it in behind. Gomez centering, loose near the penalty spot and blasted in. Dion Akoff continued his run and puts Omaha on top.
That's a good strike and a good finish. He scored in the last match as well, did Akoff against Tormenta, and he buries that one, but give Gomez some credit. This is Akoff starting it all down this right-hand side. He bombs forward, but you're going to see Gomez make a run there. Just avoids the defender, manages to get it back before it gets the touchline, and unmarked. He hasn't been picked up on the edge of the box, and he buries that one in the back of the net. Nice movement of the ball by Union Omaha, and they've got the early breakthrough.
Deon Akoff, the 33-year-old, has been with Omaha since 2022, a regular in this side. For Dom Casciato, good veteran presence. Did not appear this round, and a player who has been a staple for Union Omaha, has been an all-league team in USL League One. He's also been working as a volunteer assistant coach locally at the University of Nebraska Omaha while still playing. Knapp. They've looked good. They've looked sharp, Omaha, early on. Very different than last game. And of course, on cue, given away. My bad on that one. Here they go, Des Moines. Through Hagen. Tried to feed it through for Hernandez. I'm off the hook, Gary.
Commentator's curse.
Never is it usually that blatant.
They've got some youngsters up front now with some pace, and Felipe Hernandez, Cade Hagen. But I'm just looking at the midfield and wondering why they're not able to put more passes together. Nice, neat passing. You would think between, you know, Cleshton and McCarty, they could just knock one-touch passes between them, but it's not quite coming off that way at the moment. They were ball given away again by Cleshton. But again, to be fair to them, they haven't been playing regularly. I mean, if you look at Benny Failharbour, he hasn't played for the last 5 years virtually. Right. So, you know, it's one thing taking a few months off, but when you start taking years off, you lose so much speed and judgment.
Trouble. Cole Jensen plays it off of Hagen, and he'll get there in plenty of time to pick it up. That's the last thing you need in this situation where your opponent has mustered no attack.
Unfortunately, he didn't hit it too hard. It would have been embarrassing if it had come straight off and gone into the goal.
Morris Navarro finds Aron Gomez. Numbers here. Aron Gomez goes wide. Morris Navarro open in front. Might have been offside anyway. Well, the flag never did come up. It's unfortunate for Des Moines that he missed it.
Certainly expect to see more from Des Moines Menace. If they want to win this game, they've got to start putting some pressure on the Union Omaha defense. Cole Jensen without a shot to save as yet. And they really haven't fashioned much up front. They're not controlling the midfield. They look a bit vulnerable in defense. So, again, expect it. I'm not having a go at the older players. I think they've done brilliant just to even turn up and get a game in. But, you know, if they're not careful, Union Omaha will get a second and just run this game out quite comfortably. Moines Menace have to find a way of getting back in this match and putting pressure on that Union Omaha defense.
Thing that's been more on Des Moines' side tonight is the crowd. After some, you mentioned earlier, the AARP chant. There were other relentless ones. They were making fun of Bradley Wright Phillips being follically challenged. They were making fun of the propensity to maybe enjoy oatmeal for this older side. Things of that nature. The crowd was very creative and fun. But at least being at home tonight, they haven't had to weather that. As I mentioned earlier, the big fans of Union Omaha tonight are actually El Farolito. As you take a look around some of the scores in Open Cup, there is not an amateur side that's in a position to win at the moment. The last remaining potential amateur side, it seems, that could go through is Des Moines. Virginia Dream lost earlier to Loudoun. You have New York Pan Cyprian down 3-2 in stoppage time. If they lose, they're out, obviously, and that would leave just Des Moines as the only other amateur side remaining. Later tonight, it's Tacoma against Spokane, Ventura County against El Paso. So if the other amateur teams lose, El Farolito can already claim the amateur prize of $50,000 tonight.
They certainly deserve it. They were brilliant last night against Monterey Bay. Struggled first half and then actually dominated their USL opponents in the second half and got a fantastic victory, celebrations, tears from some of the players. It was wonderful to see.
Yellow card coming here to Brandon Knapp.
Bit of holding in the middle of the park, unnecessarily so. I mean, you're miles from the opponent's miles from your goals. Why do you want to pick up a yellow card there? We say it every week, you know, if you're going to pick up yellows, make sure it's for a good reason, because just now you miss time and tackle, get a second yellow, and you're off the park. And then perhaps the game does turn. So it's just it's an unnecessary, and I would tend to say a low football IQ to get a yellow card for no real reason in the middle of the pitch.
A yellow card has been presented to Union Omaha's number 15, Brandon Knapp.
Gallardo. Gomez. Des Moines would like that El Farolito type turnaround tonight. They can keep this close and get in the second half, make adjustments. Right now, nothing going on, no shots yet.
I think what also complicates it for Des Moines Menace is although they have half their team as younger players, that doesn't necessarily mean to say they're fit or match fit. Whereas Union Omaha, they're professionals. They've been building up to the season. They've got a couple of games under their belt. You expect that they can run a good 90 minutes and keep their shape and close down high press. Not necessarily the same for Des Moines Menace.
Kickoff earns a corner. The only player really who's in good fitness right now for Des Moines, you would have to think, is Elton Chifamba as far as match readiness and match fitness. He's been in trials with some teams right now, trying to cling on at the early portion of this season after graduating from Syracuse last year. So he's the only one who's been in training camps, who's been in that proper method of training. Everybody else, whatever training they're doing on their own, of course, no replication for match fitness. Curled in from the corner. Misplay by Carvalho, never got a hand to it. Okawa sending it long. Hagen keeps it alive for Okawa. And that match did go final. Westchester SC beat New York Pan Cyprian. Already saw Virginia Dream lose earlier to Loudoun. So the only remaining amateur side is this Des Moines Menace side. They lose, and you will have El Farolito claim the prize. Oh, pardon me, there's one more I neglected to mention. FC Naples, though, up 2-0 very late on against Little Rock Rangers, so that one seems done and dusted as well, barring a late surge. Naples the home side in that game, too. Don't expect it, but you never know. So El Farolito getting closer and closer to claiming that prize tonight. Chifamba. Okawa. This is what you sort of run into when you're a team that's not in season. Some of the sloppiness, but also a lot of players stagnant, not making any runs, not knowing where or how to check in any sort of system. Gallardo. Meanwhile, we've got this Omaha team. Players rotating all over the place, finding these quick little incisive 1-2s and moments to break forward. That's, I think, what really separates Gary early on in this tournament, the amateur teams from the pro teams, just cohesion and fitness. It comes down to those two things. And over the course of 90 minutes, the team that's more cohesive and fitter usually wins. You get the one-offs like in El Farolito where they have the quality and they have a structure, and year over year return a lot of the same players, so they can actually have some chemistry. But outside of that, it's cohesion and fitness that wins.
Plus, you're looking at the double champions. I mean, this
Right.
is a fantastic League One side as that shot just whips past. Setting records last season, a coach who really understands and gets the best out of them. So it's not just any League One side, it's the best of the best in League One that's fit and ready to go, and that makes it very difficult for Des Moines Menace. When we chatted to their coach, Charlie Latshaw III, he said to us, well, they have the athletic benefit or advantage, we have the soccer IQ advantage. He said we have to use our experience to mitigate risk. So I think is his nice way of saying we just have to use our brains and be careful.
Yeah,
because
don't get into a foot race is a better way to translate that.
Yeah.
And there's one here now as Hedges goes into it, and the foot race lost by Hedges, making some contact here. Saved by Carvalho. Almost looked like there was going to be a moment there for Gomez to go down as he was being tugged by Matt Hedges, and Hedges looks like he's limping a bit now.
For me, Gomez had to do a little bit more, because once he got away from Hedges, which I think he did really well to do that, here I'm thinking just lob the keeper, and he sort of hits it hard at the keeper as opposed to going over and lobbing the keeper. Going back to just finishing what Charlie Latshaw said to us about Des Moines Menace, he said at halftime, he said a lot of the players were absolutely gassed. He made 5 subs in that second half. Again, he's probably going to have to make quite a few substitutions to the older players in the second half, and hopefully for him, not in the first half. Hopefully there's no more injuries after Bradley Wright-Phillips. But, you know, again, in your late 30s, and you're not fully fit, you're not going to go 90 minutes. You're not even going to go close to 90 minutes. So there will be a lot of changes coming on in the second half. And that makes it difficult for them to dominate the match. And again, you look at Union Omaha now and you think this is their game to lose. They should, in theory, be able to get a second and a third and wrap it up. But you never know in cup football. El Farolito showed that last night, going 1-0 down and ending up beating Monterey Bay from the USL.
Half an hour gone here in West Des Moines, Iowa. Alongside Manchester United great Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us here this evening. Second round action in the 110th edition of Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. Saw 6 matches yesterday, 10 total matches today. Many of those have either gone final or are on the brink of going final. Saw Loudon win 4-2 over the amateur side Virginia Dream. In extra time right now, Portland Hearts of Pine against Hartford Athletic, 1-1. USL League One side hosting the USL Championship side. Got our first crack at the Chattanooga Derby. That's in extra time at 1-1. Over 12,000 fans in attendance at that one. Chattanooga FC of MLS Next Pro against the Chattanooga Red Wolves of USL League One. Had an all League One matchup. This one from distance is saved by Carvalho. All League One matchup between Knoxville and Greenville. Knoxville won at 3-1 on the road. Westchester FC of USL League One, 3-2 over New York Pansipri in the amateur side. FC Naples of League One up 2-0 on the amateur Little Rock Rangers. Now 3-0, excuse me. That one just updated in real time. And FC Tulsa up 3-1 on the road against Forward Madison. Gallardo chipping it through. A look at the offside flag, and it comes up.
Yeah, definitely a few yards offside, but they're threatening, aren't they, through the middle? Just had a quick look at XG for Des Moines Menace. It is 0.00. As we thought, they haven't created anything. And for the visitors, Union Omaha, 0.64. So the goal they've got sort of fairly reflected by the expected goals. And they're very good at defending Union Omaha against Tormenta away last match. They restricted Tormenta on Tormenta's home ground to 0.15 expected goals over the entire 90 minutes. So again, they're right up against it, Des Moines Menace. They've got a lot of work to do if they're going to get through to the next round of this cup.
Back line untested so far for Omaha. Here goes Union Omaha once again, 2v4, but with some pace. Shot from a wide angle, parried right in front, mistake from Carvalho. Pouncing is Gomez, and it's 2-0 to the Owls.
Good finish from Aaron Gomez in the right place at the right time. Keeper, as you say, Enzo Carvalho, not able to hold the ball, spoons it right into the danger area, but credit for the shot that puts the goalkeeper under pressure. They've been probing, they look sharper, look, they win that ball there. That's defenders got to do better. So from this angle, you might score, but what you do, you put the keeper under pressure. And he just palms it out. For me, the keeper's got to knock it well clear if you are going to push it away from danger. And Aaron Joshua Gomez just sticking that one nice and easily into the back of the net.
Put it right into his path, Carvalho. Gomez going to finish that 10 times out of 10. Player who was at El Paso when Dom Cacciato was an assistant there. And then when Cacciato got the head job here at Omaha, followed him along and looking to double up in rapid succession here. Headed back to Carvalho. Gomez hasn't scored yet this season in just 2 matches, had 5 goals last season. Left El Paso as their all-time leader in appearances. 34 goals and 18 assists to boot.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say the dream, the fairy story of Des Moines Menace is disappearing very rapidly.
And another fairy tale, though, gets better because El Farolito now looks at the scores, sees other amateur teams out. They see Little Rock down 3-0. They see Des Moines down 2-0. And they could just about start counting their money with a $50,000 prize to the furthest advancing amateur side.
They're probably wondering where to spend it.
Could be some numbers here, though, for the Menace. And hesitation, but now awarded as a free kick for Des Moines.
Shove in the back and a yellow card given for that. So Max Schneider coming back, and he's having a little nibble there, a little bit too much for the referee's liking, Christian Hernandez.
Standing over it. Gary, you might not like the football grid on the field, but it does tell you exactly how far this is. Kleshtin goes for a goal, and it skips into the arms of Cole Jensen.
I'm hoping that shot is on target. It looked like it was maybe just going past the post, but I hope it's on target, because at least they can point to their first shot on target in the first half. Really haven't bothered Cole Jensen at all. It's going to take something special from Sasha Kleshtin and Dax McCarthy and company if they're going to turn this around. They're going to have to roll back the years to when you were watching them 10 years ago and do something really wonderful.
Gallardo.
Not sure what that was. Was he going between the posts? Did he get confused between American football and soccer?
I was about to say rugby is more up your alley, Gary.
Yes.
That was... What is it called? Is it a try? Rugby's not my thing. I'm sorry.
Tries when you go over the end line.
When you go over the end line. Okay. And then after that, though, you get a kick, though. After you do the try, correct. Then you get a kick from that angle, depending on where you touch it down. I know that part.
Yes.
And that's what it looked like.
But, I mean, Joe Gallardo's a good player. We're just teasing it because normally we'd hit target very easily there. That one's skying over. But at this stage of the game, Union Omaha have this in a stranglehold. They're just dominating every phase of play. They're quicker, sharper. They're moving the ball around, and it's very hard to see how they won't win this match. But again, as you mentioned, that's the beauty of the cup. You never know what might happen. Maybe a lucky deflection for Des Moines Menace, or a couple of penalties like in their last match. We've got 2 of them to see them through against Sporting Kansas City too.
And to be fair to Sporting Kansas City too, who were the subjects of some jokes, losing to, as many people have put it, an MLS retirement side. I don't know that anybody would have been able to thrive in the conditions that night. It was whoever was going to get luckier on a bounce, and it just so happened to be Des Moines a couple of times. Winds were whipping around 30, 40 miles an hour, pouring rain the whole time on a field that wasn't the best in terms of the layout and the bounces that were happening. Mind you, it was also like 38 degrees. So, so to be fair to Sporting Kansas City too, I don't know if anybody would have succeeded on the day, and fortunes were there for Des Moines. They didn't really do much offensively.
They do have 1 or 2 players, Des Moines Menace, who I think we're going to see sooner rather than later, maybe even at halftime. But Leroy Nzagouzi, when he came on in the second half against Sporting Kansas City, he lit things up for Des Moines Menace. I think they need his sort of pace up front at the moment.
Kickoff. Slotting it through, chipped up, shot for a handball there from Omaha. Here's question. This all started last year, just on a whim. People on social media and getting in touch, tongue-in-cheek, with Sasha Kljestan about playing for them, and he said, if you're in California, hit me up. Draw comes out. Sure enough, Des Moines playing on the road against Capo FC in California, and Kljestan was a man of his word, brought a couple of other veterans along with him. And then this year it blossomed into something more. It was the fairy tale story last year as Kljestan helped lead the team against another amateur side in the opening round to a victory in a penalty shootout. And from there, started to send out feelers to the likes of Bradley Wright Phillips and others. And they said, all right, let's run it back this year, but properly with more friends involved.
If you look at the lineup from the last match, Failhaber started that match, Alonso in midfield, Meram played, De La Garza, Uchoa. I mean, what a side. If you could just, you know, as you say, just turn that clock back 10 years, that's a team that could have gone and won the MLS Cup.
That's been fun for the fans, fun on social media. You wonder if they'll do it again next year, or if this was a exclamation point on what was the start to it last year of just being Kljestan. Does it grow more next year? Was this one and done now? They'll be another year older, all of them, next year.
Therein lies the problem, and if Union Omaha continue to dominate, then they might look at it and say, you know what, if we get drawn against even a half-decent side, we just don't have the legs for it anymore. You can see here, even with a couple of youngsters in the team, they're not able to get close enough to win the ball. Union Omaha just knocking it around and maintaining possession a little bit too easily most of the time until the commentator says, oh, they've got it back already. You can look at the numbers there, it's 4 against 3.
Ends up all the way back to Carvalho. Not the best choice in the ball there from Joe Gallardo. Here's McCarty. Shifamba. Back to Dax. Nice ball from Shifamba. Kljestan looking for Hagen. And a free kick awarded for Des Moines. Yellow card as well.
Pointing at the referee, be very, very careful. You're going to get yourself sent off.
It's Marco Milanese who picks up the yellow.
But it's his response afterwards. He could easily have got a second yellow. He does have a little push in the back. And the free kick, I think, is a fair free kick. And then he starts remonstrating with the ref. He gets him a yellow. And then see what he does there. Then he continues and pointing. That's the only way, for me, Union Omaha lose this match. Get someone sent off, or maybe get 2 sent off, and then things can go pear-shaped very quickly.
You could see in that moment there how you could find a way back in this game for Des Moines. Nice ball recovery from McCarty. He found Shifamba, a player who's trialing right now and trying to latch onto a pro team, plays a great ball out wide. Kljestan plays a great ball in behind. There's plenty of quality. It's just a matter of cohesion and fitness, as we talked about earlier for this Des Moines team. But the quality can shine through in those moments, but can they capitalize is the question. Kljestan standing over it from 30 yards out with a little bit of a diagonal. Call it 34 yards out. Kljestan chips it in. The header from Okawa just wide.
Good ball in, and he's found Okawa's head. He's got a hit target for me. I'm not saying he has to score, but he's certainly got to make Cole Jensen work, and the head has gone way off target. But if I'm correct now, it's 3 Union Omaha players on yellows. And you could start to niggle some of those and take them on. Marco Milanese is one of them. Max Schneider and Knapp as well. Ooh, risky from the keeper. You know, you've got players on yellows. Part of the game is, if that's a weakness, you work on it and see if you can force a second yellow, and then the game does change hugely.
And the players you mentioned all down the spine of this team. They're number 10, their defensive midfielder, and a center back. So all right down the middle. And another card maybe out of that list. It looked like the referee was about to reach to his pocket here. Thought better of it.
Because that was Max Schneider.
Yeah, it was Schneider. That's the problem a lot of people have with refereeing sometimes, right? You saw him reach for his pocket.
Yes.
You saw that in his mind. He saw that as a yellow card. And then he realized, oh, wait a minute, he's maybe already on a yellow. You litigate differently when you probably shouldn't. It's that gray area that often happens and often frustrates fans. A yellow is a yellow is a yellow, and it shouldn't matter where or how. But a second yellow changes the entire complexion of a game, and referees, right, wrong, or indifferent, will hold back.
As long as you're consistent with it.
That was with you. As soon as he put his hand down, it looked like he was going for that. I was starting to get worried. Kleshtin trying to go short here. Hernandez and line. Didn't get there in time.
Pace of the ball is a little bit too much. Maybe at MLS level, that pace is good enough, and Bradley Wright Phillips 15 years ago would have got on it, but Felipe Hernandez, they're just not able to either read it quick enough or catch up with the pace of the ball.
You know why Bradley Wright Phillips has such a good career, right? It's because he started at a proper club like Manchester City, Gary.
We're not going to go there. Not biting. But his dad, Ian Wright, was one of the greats at Arsenal. What a player he was. Wow. Those who haven't seen him play, go and Google him. Something special.
McCarty harassed by Urs Navarro. Free kick coming now for Omaha. Urs Navarro looks really comfortable already. Again, it's a quirky start to the season for Omaha. They played their opener, had a week off, had their Open Cup game delayed. They played this past weekend, they played tonight, then they're off this weekend again. So getting up to speed for a player like Navarro, who had to miss the opening 2 matches, maybe a little bit difficult, but he comes right in, he starts, he scores, and has an assist last game against Tormenta, and he's been very dangerous again tonight. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Omaha looking to tack on and put it further out of reach. At 2-0, it's already going to be very difficult, you'd expect, for Des Moines. Free kick curled in and headed clear by Tommy Thompson. Kickoff. Still Akoff. He felt he was clipped by Hernandez. Given away by Hernandez. Akoff flicks it along. Schneider there. He's shoved down. Another free kick coming for Omaha. Could be the last play of the half when all said and done.
There's the mixture of seeing Moises Hernandez with such skill on his feet as he goes to clear the ball, and then goes and gives a bad pass, can't catch up, hasn't got the pace, and gives away the free kick. So we see glimpses of the greatness that was once there, and then followed by a little bit of slow movement, clumsy movement, and giving away a free kick in a rather dangerous position.
Two minutes come and gone. This should be the last play of the half. Free kick toward the back post, gathered by Carvalho.
Charlie Ostrom putting that in a little bit too close to the keeper. It's been a good last sort of 5 minutes by Des Moines Menace. It's the first time we've seen them on the front foot. They've had a few free kicks. They've had some nice moves, and I think they can take that positivity into the locker room.
And there is the whistle to end half number 1. Omaha up 2-0 on Des Moines. It's the third time these teams are meeting in the last 4 years. Omaha a perfect 2-0, on their way perhaps to 3-0, unless Des Moines has a comeback up their sleeves. And last match, they won against Sporting Kansas City 2. We'll revisit that in a moment. And in just a little while, we're back with half number 2. Stick with us here on YouTube or flip around to some of the other games happening right now on a 10-match day in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Omaha 2, Des Moines 0 at the break.
Kansas City, cold, brutal, 20 degrees and howling winds. From Swope Soccer Village, it's Sporting Kansas City 2 and Des Moines Menace. All eyes on Dax, on Sasha, on BWP. And it is maybe the most sought-after first-round game of this year's Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Good ball. Question into Bradley Wright Phillips, making the run down the right-hand side, and the first really good look for Des Moines in this game.
I tell you, if it wasn't for Mother Nature, these boys can still move the ball.
There's a lot of people, I think, right now that are probably watching this game going, well, Des Moines didn't come to play. I think they're playing into a 30-mile-an-hour wind. Charlie Latshaw indicated, let's get to halftime and see where these guys are at. And if they find out that they'll have the wind at their back, that may put some wind in their sails.
The bigger concern would be is how much effort they're going to have to expend. Look, they're all pros. They'll keep their heads locked in. It's how much do they really have in the tank? Certainly the second 45 minutes will be interesting, not just because of the change of field position, but the amount that the Elders have had to expend going the other way.
Wright Phillips, this drops kindly, ball through, appeal for a penalty. The referee's given Des Moines the chance to grab the advantage. Kleshin against Sheway, right down the middle, scores with venom. Sasha Kleshin captaining the Des Moines Menace into the lead. Shrugging off the AARP chant from the support in KC. This really enticing. Here for Kansas City, it's an equalizer. It's Beckham Uterus. 20 minutes to go, and Des Moines is up against the ropes. They may have the wind at their back, but they are running right into a Kansas City buzzsaw. And Zagusi. Knocked down. Red along the look. Points to the spot. Kleshin scores. Des Moines lead again. Father Time is defeated, 2-1. And Des Moines will do it all again in the second round.
Started the Roseboom Football Academy with the dream of helping more young players learn the value of developing great soccer skills while building strong team relationships and a true love of the game. You can learn more by visiting RoseboomFootballAcademy.com. fans, let's give the athletes from the Roseville Football Academy a big round of applause for their great work. And a big thank you to Lance for continuing to have a big impact on our local soccer community.
Vibes are still high in the stands here in Des Moines, but the Menace down 2-0, trying to reverse their fortunes here in the second half. Look back at highlights from half number 1, which was totally controlled in just about every aspect, Gary, by this Union Omaha side.
Yeah, they moved the ball around really well, and they were quick to it. They attacked, they had pace. And here you can see Dion Akoff causing all sorts of problems down that right-hand side, puts the ball in for Aaron Gomez, and he cuts it back. Akoff, unmarked, he's able to control the ball first and then bury it in the back of the net. That's the sort of domination that Union Omaha had in that first half.
And their second goal, a bit of fortune, but also bred out of just finding easy entries in behind the back line. Ors Navarro turns behind Dax McCarty, turns on the Jets, and then Carvalho, the goalkeeper, ends up helping out in the end.
Yeah, it's a hard shot, but the goalkeeper's got to do better than just sort of drop it and spill it right in front of Aaron Gomez there. But it's a decent shot from Ors Navarro, and as you say, mistakes by the defense has cost them, and I can only see more happening in the second half unless Des Moines Menace can come up with something special.
Down 2-0, it would take a lot at this point, especially when you tend to think about how a lot of these teams pull off these cup sets, the amateur sides. It's usually by keeping it 0-0, by finding a moment on a counter or something to that effect. It's tough to do that when you're down 2-0. It makes it all the easier for a team like Union Omaha to maybe find a way to tack on some more.
If we look at some of the stats to give you an idea of how one-sided the first half was for Union Omaha, 7 shots on target to Des Moines Menace's 1. Touches in the opposition box, 18 for Union Omaha, just 2 for Des Moines Menace. And expected goals, which is always a good measure for the home side Des Moines Menace, 0.07, 1.33 for Union Omaha. So for Dom Casciado, the coach of Union Omaha, he would have said, just keep doing the same, move the ball around, have a go, take them on with pace, make them run, make them tire, and we should go on to win this comfortably. For Des Moines Menace, they've got to come up with something special, and I expect to see a few subs and some fresh legs in the second half for the home side.
They go left to right in the red, Omaha right to left in the white. Glad to have you with us still this evening alongside Manchester United great Gary Bailey. I'm Joe Malfa. 2-0 lead for Omaha as we begin half number 2. El Farolito fans and players sitting back watching. All amateur sides, aside from Des Moines, officially eliminated. Once this goes final, it slipped through and the flag stays down. Omaha had a chance to put it away right there. But the last amateur side remaining outside of El Farolito, this Des Moines side, if they lose, El Farolito walks away with the prize money already.
That was a high press there, turnover ball. Just slipped behind the defense, and the shot that should have really hit target. So even within the first minute of the second half, it's business as usual for Union Omaha.
If Des Moines don't find more of a foothold in terms of the territory and the possession, seems like this could turn into a 4-5-0 game, just the way things are going and the disparity between these two sides. The ball centered for Omaha. Brought back to Schneider. Trying to force his way through, nearly does. Some subs to get you out of the break for these sides. First of note, Benny Feilhaber coming on for Felipe Hernandez on the Des Moines side. And maybe a corner for Omaha. Matt Hedges also departing. Kyle Owen taking his spot in the middle of the back line.
I think that makes sense. They had to do something, Des Moines Menace, to try and get a change in the way this game was going. Let's see if this is going to work for them or not.
From the corner, the header blocked in front, still loose, and Carvalho keeps it out. Scramble in front. Omaha really knocking on the door already here early in this second half to make it 3.
2 substitutions for each team at halftime.
Torres Navarro drops it back, saved by Carvalho at the near post, denying Ostrom.
He's busy, the goalkeeper, at the start of the second half. And interesting that both sides have made changes, but Torres Navarro is really a decent player. They seem to have brought on board. Charlie Ostrom having a bit of a dip there from 20 yards.
Gallardo and Akoff have come off for Omaha. Isidro Martinez and Prosper Kasim have come on. Such a deep, talented squad, Omaha. Year over year, they just have the deepest roster in USL League One. Great job to the folks over there just putting this roster together. Lost some key pieces from last year's team that won the double. Players Shield in the regular season, and then the title in the playoffs, putting a second star above the crest. Most notably Pedro Dolabella, who went on to USL Championship, but they've replaced what they've lost. Had such success for such a young club. Union Omaha began play in 2021, the second season of USL League One, a league that started back in 2019. Right from the jump, the success was there. It made the final in 2020. It never happened because of COVID. Greenville Triumph awarded the title that year. Then Omaha bounced right back. They won the Shield, top record in the regular season in 2021, and the title. So they did the double in 24 and 21, and then mixed in another Shield win in 2023. So in just 5 years of play, 3-time regular season title winners, 2-time title winners, and they've made some deep runs into Open Cup, most notably back in 2022 when they made it to the quarterfinal. And last year they made it to the round of 32, went to extra time against Sporting Kansas City and lost in extra time. So whether it's USL play, whether it's Open Cup play, success has been there for Omaha.
Has for their coach as well. Back-to-back Coach of the Year awards for Dom Casciato, which is why so many people think he'll move on to bigger things in the future.
There's Cade Hagen. Hagen makes a nice move in behind, but too much on it. Jensen's there. There's a bit of a coming together on the backside of that between Benny Feilhaber and what to be Anderson Holt. Peeled away from each other now and play on.
Just talking about the coaches, it must be tough for Charlie Latchell III. It's his first home game as coach, and things aren't going the way he would have hoped, up against a coach who's twice been given the Coach of the Year award, so probably looks enviously at what Dom Casciato has built at Union Omaha.
Ostrom centering and cleared by a sliding Moises Hernandez. If something that doesn't change fast for Des Moines, that third and more from there will be coming, it seems, for Omaha.
The body language of Des Moines Menace is it's a tired one. Its heads are a little bit down. frustration perhaps, and you're quite right. If you were to lay odds on it now, you can only see Union Omaha getting a third and potentially a fourth. But as we've always said, Cup football, if they just got one Des Moines Menace, it might just put a spark into their play.
Corner, blasted.
Wow.
That one halfway to Council Bluffs, Iowa.
I've seen corners missed by a yard or two, but that just was like 10 yards past everybody. But can't criticize them. They're 2-0 up. They're cruising at this stage, or Union Omaha.
You still can. It was a poor corner.
Yeah,
it was a poor corner. And if you're Dom Casciato, these are the moments where you do want to see some of that stuff reined in. It's what makes them so great, right? They're not satisfied. Even in moments like this, they can still work on some things that'll carry with them now into the regular season play. And they'll only have one match between now and the next round of Open Cup as this awkward early season schedule continues for Omaha, assuming they get through tonight. They'll play a week from tonight, the Wednesday evening, on the road against the Richmond Kickers. So they have this weekend off, they have the following weekend off, and then they would play in the midweek again the following week in Open Cup. So very, very quirky schedule. It's typical for them. They'll have long stretches of home games, long stretches of road games as they play still in a baseball stadium while their new soccer stadium is still in the works. And because of that, they have to sort of alternate when the baseball team is home and isn't home. So it sets up long stretches of road games and then long stretches of home games as well. So if you do well and take care of business in your road games, the plus side is you can do some damage in your home games. Hooked in toward Kleshtin, dealt with by Omaha. Kleshtin, heavy touch. He gets there to keep it in play. McCarty floats one, chested down nicely, some contact there, penalty. This is how they did it last round. And that's Brendan Knapp. It's gonna be a sending off. That changes this game entirely.
Wow.
Brendan Knapp, he hasn't received the red yet. The referee just noticing now in his book that he's already on a yellow. So from 2-0 down, a penalty to bring one back, and now going up a man, some life for Des Moines.
This is exactly how we said that most likely to get back in the match was through a penalty. A most likely way they could win it is through red cards, and that both have happened in one go here. Just that hand out, there wasn't much, but as soon as he felt it, down he went, and there was enough for the referee. And that's that football IQ they were talking about.
And it's the veteran Benny Feilhaber who draws it, and now he stands over it. Kleshtin took both penalties last round. It looks like Benny Feilhaber will take this one. His start last game was his first appearance since September 7th, 2019. He also scored in that game, which turned out to be his last game, as they played the Portland Timbers, Sporting Kansas City. So it's been 5.5 years since he's scored, after 5.5 years since he's played. He stares down Cole Jensen, the lanky goalkeeper, who just received his full-time contract today for Union Omaha after looking good in his 25-day contract.
Benny Feilhaber won the first penalty that Sasha Kleshtin scored in the previous round, so he's not bad at winning penalties.
Spent the last 3 years as the head coach of Sporting Kansas City, too. Jensen hasn't retreated to his line yet. Some mind games from the young goalkeeper. A lifeline for Des Moines. Benny and his vets have one back, and they have a pulse. Down a goal, and now up a man.
Wow, that little moment of skill and football awareness, football IQ. Just felt that arm around his shoulder, down he went. He gets goal side there, he feels it. Whether it's enough to bring him down, I doubt, but he felt it, went down, won the penalty, gets up, takes it, and that second yellow means they're down to 10. And they really are back in the game. It's amazing, and that's what we said, Cup football, never assume anything. You go back to the couple of chances that Union Omaha had just after half-time and think they maybe should have buried one of those, because at 3-1 they'd still be comfortable. At 2-1 now, anything is possible.
by number 10, Benny Feilhaber.
Sasha Kleshchin, in the aftermath of that goal, subbed off as well. Leroy Nsugusi takes his spot.
I was wondering why Kleshchin didn't take the penalty, because he took both in the last match. Maybe he was already in the process of being substituted.
Very capable replacement in Benny Feilhaber to take that instead.
Just a bit.
Well, those two have some history with each other, as Feilhaber scores and Kleshchin subbed off. Again, back to the 2017 U.S. Open Cup final. It was the Red Bulls against Sporting Kansas City, and Benny Feilhaber's team prevailed over Sasha Kleshchin's. Feilhaber had a lengthy spell of time for the U.S. men's national team as well. 44 caps, most famously including that just terrific volley to win it in the 07 Gold Cup final against Mexico. Now 18 years ago that.
Important for Union Omaha just to keep things cool, keep moving the ball about as they're doing now, run at the defense, try and get that 2-goal gap back again.
Doing so down a man. Chifambo wins it. This game has turned in terms of the mood. You could sense it. Penalty coupled with a sending off.
And I was going to ask the question, I had it written down here for halftime, if they were going to have changes, Union Omaha, maybe the players on yellow were worth bringing off because of the danger of the second yellow. They didn't bring any of them off, and it was a little bit of a risk. And they paid a price. I'm just thinking back to Brandon Knapp's first yellow. Was it the one that we criticized as being unnecessary in the middle of the park?
Yeah,
that was the one. Yeah, and we said those things come back to haunt you time and time again.
And we alluded to it later on in that first half as well, that it was the spine of this Omaha team that were all on yellows. It was their number 10 in Brandon Knapp, their 6 playing in behind him in Max Schneider, and their center back in Marco Menace. So think of where a lot of the traffic and those moments happen, where you get caught and you have to make a decision. Happens there. And Knapp is off, and it's a 1-goal game. Free kick now for Union Omaha.
That was borderline yellow card. Taking a player out like that.
And it's interesting, you go back to what we spoke about in the first half, the psychology of refereeing. Moments where you maybe let something go that should have been a yellow, instead don't give a card as it slotted through for Ors Navarro. Blocked, shot for handball, but play on.
You're thinking the referee might not have given the yellow if he realized it was a second yellow?
That's where I was going after that attack played out for Omaha, because he didn't seem to know. If you think back to when that red card was given, he showed the yellow as it's played to the end line here and centered again by Omaha before it's cleared by Chifambo. He showed the yellow and didn't immediately give the red. It wasn't until he looked back in his book to write up that yellow that he had realized Brandon Knapp already had a yellow. So, again, if he remembered, would he have been that harsh and given the yellow? We saw a moment in the first half where he was reaching for his pocket and then thought better of it when he realized it was Max Schneider and didn't want to send him off for a sort of gray area foul. If he knew in that moment, would he have sent off Knapp? And would that even be the right decision? Because again, like we spoke about, what's a yellow is a yellow. It shouldn't matter. But referees, right, wrong, or indifferent, referee differently when it comes to maybe sending a player off, especially when it comes to a penalty. It's a double whammy there of a penalty and the red card. And it seemed like he clearly didn't realize because he didn't notice until he pulled his book out.
Well, whatever he was thinking, it doesn't make any difference because they're down to 10 players. And it has changed the game for the neutrals, and certainly, of course, for Des Moines Menace fans. And this is really exciting because this match was just going one way until that moment.
Very fair for Omaha fans to feel hard done by the yellow card, or the second yellow rather. A penalty was a penalty, but the yellow card, that's questionable.
Even the penalty, just keep your arms away from the player in front. He had so much work to do yet to score a goal, and as soon as his hands went on Brandon Knapp, whether there was enough to pull down Feilhaber or not, as soon as he felt the hand, he went down. very clever play from Benny Fehlhaber. Such football IQ, and that's what Charlie Latchall III said, the coach. He said it's our football IQ that will get us through if we are going to win this game.
Benny Fehlhaber was also best 11 in 2015. Schneider goes for a goal from an audacious distance, forces Carvalho to touch it over the bar and out for a corner. Going into the wind, mind you, as well. You can see it on the corner flag here. They're going into a stiff wind, and he still tried it from that distance.
It's a fantastic strike. Goalkeeper, it might have just been going over. It's a good long stretch there from Enzo Carvalho. He's not taking any chances. But now, if you are Des Moines Menace, you want to make sure you don't let Union Omaha get the third, because all the time it's 2-1. You've got a chance of an equalizer, taking the game into extra time.
From the corner. Favorable bounce here for Omaha, or rather for Des Moines. Omaha clears it through Anderson Holt. Could have been a 2v1 if it bounced differently for Des Moines. Well, even down to 10, it certainly seems like Omaha is going to be mostly in control of the possession. It's just now the spaces in the middle and in behind might be there for Des Moines as they counter.
So it's a younger side now, Des Moines Menace, after they've made all these changes, and Nzagouzi comes on with real pace. Fehlhaber has had a rest in the first half, so he's come on fresh to some extent. So I think it's a different look in Des Moines Menace now. But to your point, Union Omaha should still have enough to wrap this match up. But you never know, the panic, the worry, cup matches, because it's, you know, win, go through, lose, go home, it starts to change your mentality and how you think, and panic can set in very easily.
Elton Chafamba's done well tonight. Anybody who may be watching from other pro teams scouting him would have to be happy and think about bringing him on. He's been in some trials this preseason. Kate Hagan floats it, and Nzagouzi was lurking all the way through for a goal kick.
Cole Jensen with the ball there has had literally nothing to do. It's just except face a penalty. You don't have much of a chance. What is 75 to 80% chance of the striker scoring? So for Cole Jensen, it's been a frustrating game of very little activity, and yet still seeing one hit the back of the net.
Des Moines have still not scored a goal from the run of play in this tournament. 3 penalties, 3 converted penalties. If you're Omaha, that tells you just be careful. If you avoid conceding a penalty, you might be fine here. Still up 2-1. They'd love an insurance goal to get it back up to a 2-goal lead, though. In behind for Ors Navarro, centered. Ball went far post. The run came center of the 6 by Prosper Kasim.
Yeah, it was a case of Prosper looked like he was going to go deep into the far post, and that's what Ors Navarro saw before he put his head down, and then he changed it. Prosper Kasim tried to come inside. A little bit of lack of communication or understanding perhaps between the two players.
Ostrom goes from a distance. Carvalho smothers. FC Naples did officially go final, as we were expecting it to, up 3-0 over Little Rock Rangers, and FC Tulsa won 3-1 over Forward Madison. Chattanooga FC and the Chattanooga Red Wolves are in a penalty shootout at the moment.
And that's how Chattanooga Red Wolves got through in the previous round of the penalty shootout. By the way, one thing you do need to do is give El Farolito a call and say, quickly, don't spend that 50,000 yet.
Des Moines putting some pressure on that now. Should Des Moines make it through with El Farolito, that would at least extend through to the next round to see which amateur side could get the furthest. There are some tiebreakers. We'll get into that only if both Des Moines and El Farolito get through the next round. But if Omaha holds on and Des Moines falters here, El Farolito do get the 50,000 as the furthest advancing amateur side. Beyond the hour mark now, alongside Manchester United great Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malfa. Happy to have you with us for a match that has really turned on its head over the last few minutes. You see there, 54th minute, Brandon Knapp, red card. It came as he conceded a penalty to turn a 2-0 game into a 2-1 game with a Benny Fehlhaber converted penalty. Des Moines has gotten some life out of that. They've had some moments now going forward. They've looked a little bit more threatening.
Good pressing there from Union Omaha, and I do wonder as we get to the sort of latter phases of this game whether the lack of match fitness from Des Moines and the players who haven't been playing regularly, this is an amateur outfit as we've explained, whether they're going to start to tire a little bit. And again, I'm sure Dom Casciato, the Union Omaha coach, is saying to his players, keep the pace up, move the ball around, close them down, high press where possible. That's the big advantage that this professional team have over the amateurs.
Teams will learn their fates tomorrow. The third round draw for the Open Cup at 1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on the Golazo Network. I'll be with Jamie Watson for the draw. If you don't like where your team ends up, blame Jamie. If you like where your team ends up, you can thank me. Don't tell him I said that. Famba continues to just ping it all around the park. Just pulling the strings in the midfield. Sent goalward here and saved by Jensen. Not a bad effort from Tommy Thompson cutting in on his right foot.
I think that's the first proper save that Cole Jensen's had to make.
I believe so.
But again, from Dom Casciato's point of view, even if Des Moines Menace pulled it back to 2-2 and took it into extra time, you've got to think the next 30 minutes his professional team will have by far the better fitness and be able to wrap it up. So I don't think the coach or the visiting team is overly worried at this stage. I mean, it's possible Des Moines Menace could score twice and wrap it up before normal time, but they haven't really, other than the penalty, they haven't created much, and it's a pretty tight Union Omaha defense, as we mentioned, their previous game, limiting South Georgia Tomenta on their home turf at South Georgia Tomenta to just 0.18 of an expected goal.
Sergio Ors Navarro coming off for Union Omaha, replaced by Mark Bronick. It's their third sub, just their first window. They made the first two changes at halftime. Mark Bronick, 18-year-old, debuted in Open Cup last year against El Paso, scored the winning penalty in the shootout as Omaha pulled off the cup set over Dom Casciato's former side when he was the assistant at El Paso. Mark Bronick just signed his pro deal back in October, third academy player through Omaha's system to sign a first-team deal. And is that Sasha Kleshtin? Oh, he just got a red card from the bench. They're going to have a lot of fun with that this weekend on Apple TV. Sasha Kleshtin sent off from the bench. And his mates on the desk there are Dax McCarty, Bradley Wright Phillips, and Kalen Kyle, so they will be sure to let him hear it. And maybe he's cold. He's bundled up over there. He's a pretty California boy. He's got the jacket all bundled up here. Maybe he just wanted to get in the locker room sooner. Free kick coming for Des Moines here with 20 minutes to go. This cup has everything, doesn't it, Gary?
It does. I mean, yesterday, seeing Lexington, the USL team, bow out to Columbus Crew 2, and then El Farolito beating Monterey Bay. Those were two big shocks yesterday. And this turnaround, here we go.
Over the top here, and Segusi keeps his footing. Surprised nobody's given him a look yet, and maybe behind the scenes don't know if he's trial with certain teams that were never made public, but he's looked good each of the last 3 Open Cups for this Des Moines side. He had a really good college career at Drake. Seems like that type of player who would thrive in a USL League One setting at the very least. Seen a red card both ways, but it's only Omaha down to 10. Sasha Kleshtin picked up his red from the bench. McCarty plays a nice ball through for Nzegusi, was looking for it. And cleared by Menace. Feels like there's going to be another opportunity in this for Des Moines. Finding some more spaces now. Nzegusi's brought a different dynamic up top. Gives them a direct outlet to play through.
He's got the pace that would worry the defense of Union Omaha. Again, this is a team that won both the normal league and the championship last year with record numbers. They know how to defend, they know how to get behind the ball, they're well organized, they know each other well, and that makes it very difficult for Des Moines Menace to break down.
Over the top again toward Nzegusi. Now wide to Tommy Thompson. Okawa. McCarty. Low ball driven in. The banter between those three is going to be fun this weekend if you tune in to watch the MLS matches. You've got Bradley Wright Phillips, who hope he's doing all right, but left early with an injury. Sasha Kleshtin got a red card from the bench, and Dax McCarty is the last one standing, still playing out there.
Well, good on them for turning up and playing. That's what I would say. Anyone who quizzes me, that's at least we were on the pitch.
Well, Sasha's not anymore.
Yeah.
McCarty. Chifamba. And Nzegusi back for Chifamba. Long ball through. A lot of traffic there. Can Omaha counter? Oh, they had the numbers there and just stomping on the ball. Losing his footing was Aaron Gomez. Could have been a 3v2. Now McCarty the other way. Feilhaber calling for it. Feilhaber sneaking it through. Knocked away at the last by Martinez.
Menace fans, at this time, we'd like to recognize a few special groups and nonprofits in attendance at tonight's game. Ticket Forward subsidized tickets for all local high school
Thompson.
boys and girls soccer teams to tonight's match. Shout out to Blake Sievers and Ben Brackett for an amazing
Getting
job.
a little bit loose now, Union Omaha, when they have got the ball, whacked it up the field there, just to no one in particular. Aaron Gomez lost possession when he had it. They don't want to invite pressure here to Union Omaha.
Feilhaber. Nice centering ball. Pressure starting to mount all of a sudden. Up a man, Des Moines still looking for that goal, down a goal.
What are the odds on a second penalty for Des Moines Menace?
I wouldn't bet against it the way things have looked for them.
As they did in the last match. These wily campaigners around the edge of the box, that just spells trouble for the defenders of Union Omaha.
Chifamba steps up. Referee says all ball. This one stays in at the end line. It's last off of Thompson, out for a goal kick. Pardon me, McCarty charging for it, and out for a goal kick.
Well, if you'd watched this match up until about the 50-odd minutes,
I would say till the penalty.
till the penalty, you would have thought this was just one-way traffic. Union Omaha should have been 3, maybe 4 up. There hadn't been a shot on target from Des Moines Menace. And one little moment, one football IQ moment, just as Coach Charlie Latshaw III had suggested to us, and they win a penalty and get a player sent off, and since then, totally different game.
This is similar in that way to what it was last round for Omaha, though the goal came later for Flatirons. They took a 2-0 lead. The lower division side, the amateur side, Flatirons won. Scored a late goal. Finished 2-1, now played in behind. And it's touched over the bar by Carvalho.
Isidro Martinez with the shot. Goalkeeper's made a few decent saves, Enzo Carvalho. He's been quite busy, but this is the space they can get if they attack you. Maybe too many players push forward there. from Des Moines Menace. And they will be vulnerable in transition because they're having to throw numbers forward, because maybe they don't have the fitness to get back quickly enough. When the counter-attack comes, that's going to be Union Omaha's big opportunity.
They were never able to find that goal to make it 3-1 Omaha last round. Headed centrally by Coleman. They were looking for that third goal to go back up by 2 and breathe easier against Flatirons. It never came. Can they find it tonight? In a game that's followed a similar script. Coleman heads it back centrally. Flicked on by Menace, but the foul called against Omaha.
Kate Hagan going down there, and he just took that sort of contact and hit the ground. And generally when defenders do that, they'll get the benefit of the doubt from the referee.
Chattanooga Red Wolves won the shootout over Chattanooga FC.
It's the second one back-to-back for the Red Wolves.
And Tacoma Defiance are up 1-0 early on against Spokane Velocity. One more match to kick off still in 15 minutes. It's Ventura County hosting El Paso. But as I look up and down the scores tonight, again, the glaring omission is any victory from an amateur side. The few that were remaining have all lost so far. There were 4 amateur sides alive today. 3 have lost. Des Moines remains. El Farolito watches and roots for Omaha to ensure that $50,000 prize money belongs to El Farolito before we even draw the third round matchups. Bronick.
Good.
Schneider, excuse me.
Yeah, Snyder doing so well there. He was trying to be tackled from the back, and in the end, he just couldn't find another white shirt to pass it to.
Okawa continues his run. Feeds Lucas Rosa. Rosa switches. Not a bad effort, but ran out of steam at the end.
Okay, Union Omaha very quick to get numbers back behind the ball. Well organized, and they look at this stage as if they can hold on to this lead, but again, you just a little bit of something special from Fellheiber or McCarty or one of those in the box and around the box that could just get Des Moines Menace back in this game.
McCarty, some contact there, play on. Shifamba slots it through for Nzegusi. Pirouettes through Nzegusi, fighting to keep it alive. Okawa in behind, flag comes up. Only attention goes to the veterans, sure, but if Des Moines score, it feels like it's going to come from one of those young guys now who still have that spark in them, like Shifamba and Nzegusi.
Nzegusi's got such good pace. But look how many white shirts they had around them there. They're really blocking that center with numbers. So I say they're a well-organized side. Obviously, they don't get to be champions, double champions in a season and break all records without being, well-organized, understanding each other.
More fresh legs coming for Des Moines. It'll be their 5th and final sub. Mikey Ambrose on, Tommy Thompson off. Omaha still have 2 subs and 2 windows remaining. They would like to use them. Isidro Martinez now. Martinez took a deflection, cleared by Lucas Rosa. Only as far as Gomez. Aaron Gomez goes for a goal. Gomez puts it wide. Shifamba. Feilhaber. Looking for Nzegusi. Not a bad ball. Nzegusi chips it, but wide. Oh, brilliant ball by Feilhaber. The speed of Nzegusi made it interesting. Jensen came out for it. Nzegusi just off target.
Well, the goalkeeper's very relieved here. I'm not sure he had to come for this. He's got a defender dealing with it. Suddenly leaves that entire goal gaping open for Nzeguzi, who's not that far wide. That was the big moment for Des Moines Menace. Will they have another one as good as that? And Cole Jensen, maybe we'll look back at that and think that was an unnecessary risk that he took, and he's lucky to get away with it.
Gary, I'm not a coach. I didn't play the game nearly at the level that you did, but I've called these Des Moines matches these last couple of years and continue to just be thoroughly impressed by Nzeguzi. And at some point, you'd think that chance is coming for him. A lot of these players continue to use Open Cup as that platform to get game tape out there. You don't know what's going on when he gets there in trials with teams, but he just continues to flash against pro teams for Des Moines in Open Cup. It's got to be something there, you'd imagine, from a team just to give him a shot.
He certainly has pace, no question about that.
Angled ahead. Mike was there. Back the other way for Des Moines. And I won't even take a commission if Nzeguzi does get a job after this somewhere. Okawa.
And that clock is ticking down now for Des Moines Menace. They're going to have to maybe take a few more risks, get that ball into that danger area. Don't have a lot of numbers forward, do they?
Martinez chasing. Heavy challenge, but a clear one in the eyes of the official for Kyle Owen.
There's no need for Aceto to rush this. His team are 2-1 up. Probably needs to just take his time and slow things down, make sure that his team are organized and they know what they need to do for the remaining 8 minutes plus.
Holding it up at the end line, and it is a goal kick.
It's confusing because that black line is also on a white line, so it's difficult to see exactly where it is, but anyway, match goes on.
McCarty. Okawa with plenty of space. Out wide. Flag stays down at the end line. It's centered, but not enough on it. Cole Jensen easy.
I'd say well done to Dax McCarty, 37 years of age, and he's still on the pitch. 84th minute. Maybe when he's on TV on the weekend, he could be sitting down most of the time.
Well, he's the one, with no disrespect to his MLS 360 colleagues in Bradley Wright Phillips and Sasha Kleshin, he is the most recently removed from the game. So you'd expect Dax McCarty to be in the best shape. He was a key fixture last year for Atlanta United, just made the transition this year from the field to the studio. I think the one who's impressed me the most, granted he came on at halftime, is Benny Feilhaber. He's been out of the game for almost 6 full years now. Last played at the end of 2019. Granted, he's still very much immersed in and around the game. I'm sure as the head coach of Sporting Kansas City too, there were plenty of sessions where he put the penny on and got out there with the group, but he's come on and really made a difference in this second half.
Well, he won the penalty this one and took it, but he won the penalty in the last match that put them 1-0 up, so he's had some vital contributions in both these games.
That'll be a throw here for Omaha. A chance for Des Moines to get forward and keep the pressure on. As it hit the corner flag and ended up on this side of it. Very interesting job that the Des Moines head coach, Charles Latshaw III, has to do. Have success here, but start looking ahead to the summer when it's the college group in USL 2. Some of these guys might be there again this summer, namely that we've seen out there the whole time in Yoshi Okawa. Moines consistently top of their division in USL League 2. Last year, 9 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws. First place in the Heartland Division. Lost in the conference semifinals in a shootout. Last won the title in USL 2 back in 2021. The season begins on May 17th this year. So if this is where their road ends tonight, they've got a month and a half until they get going again. Camp will start for them in about a month. It's that quick rush of a summer season before a lot of the players then go back off to their college camps and their college seasons.
I'm sure it's going to be sad for many fans of the game if they do go out here to Moines Menace and we don't get to see these greats go on to the next round.
McCarty played a brilliant ball through Okawa, and the whistle blows for an offside flag. If not for that outstretched leg of Menace, just got his toe on it. Okawa was in behind free. There's the class that Dax possesses still to play a ball like that in behind.
Looks like Marco Milanese's taken a knock in the process. It's a lovely one-time ball, isn't it? First-time ball. Brilliant. A bit of a whiff and a miss there, coming from Yoshi Okawa. Just wondering whether that chance for Nzugusi about 4 or 5 minutes ago was the moment to get back on level terms, because Union Omaha are not giving much away. They're getting numbers behind the ball. They're closing down quickly, and that clock is ticking down to that 90 minutes. As we said, they're a well-organized side, Union Omaha, and they've given very little away in opportunities.
Final 2 minutes of regulation. Cole Jensen feels at home tonight from Council Bluffs, Iowa. That's a really big day overall for him. Again, hasn't had much to do, but signed his full contract with Omaha today. Bit of a homecoming here in this road match. Will he have to come up big in these closing moments? Is there something still in this for Des Moines to find an opportunity? Playing up a man most of this half. If we haven't been verbally saying it or showing it on the graphic in the upper left, I don't think the onlooker would realize that Omaha's playing down a man. They haven't really shown too many gaps, and they're the fitter team. They're the pro team who's now into the throes of their season. They haven't shown any negative sides to being down a man.
Just perhaps playing out from the back has been their problem. They haven't got that extra man to be able to play through the midfield of Des Moines Menace as easily as they did first half. And have a look at it here. There's sort of the press that they're finding difficulty playing through it and out, whereas first half they were just playing one-touch football and it was an absolute breeze for them.
Benny Feilhaber called for the foul, not happy about it.
Trying to hold the ball up in that corner and look for some support. Goes for the nutmegs. Absolutely brilliant. There's been some magical moments for the Des Moines Menace fans over these 2 cup matches, this one and the previous one against Sporting Kansas City 2. It does look like that dream is coming to a close unless something special happens in the next few minutes.
Cole Jensen blasted out across midfield. Nice run this. Isidro Martinez waiting to scoop it up after Bronick's run. There will be 5 minutes of stoppage time. Schneider. Bronick couldn't hold it up. Shifamba and Nzugusi. Good play defensively by Milanese, and allowing Nzugusi to turn.
The fourth official has indicated at least 5 minutes of extra time. 5 minutes.
This is where you want to see the likes of Prosper Kasim there, the number 10. Just a little bit of extra leg work. He's got the fresh legs. So too Isidro Martinez and Mark Bronick. need to close down, just stop Des Moines Menace from building up their attacks from the back. There's one player you don't want on the ball, and that will be Benny Feilhaber if you're Union Omaha. If someone's gonna win another penalty, you would think it's gonna be him. At least he's got the free kick. There wasn't much contact, but he does sell it very well, Benny Feilhaber. Now, given there's only, what, 3.5 minutes left, this needs to be a good free kick and give the big boys a chance in getting on the end of it.
Dax McCarty stands over it. McCarty, it's a good ball into the mixer. Hagen battling, out for a goal kick. More minutes to be played.
You certainly got to give Des Moines Menace credit for the second half. They looked absolutely dead and buried. They didn't have a shot on target, done nothing, and then that little moment of magic from Benny Feilhaber wins the pen and gets the player sent off. Not that he was trying to get him sent off, but that was the net result. And we've been given a real game here, a real cup game of excitement and possibility. As the curtain begins to close on Des Moines Menace, at least you can look back and say it was a really good second half. It was a fantastic result against Sporting Kansas City, and as they say in the movies, thanks for the memories. Unless they can come up with something special in these dying moments.
It would be a movie-esque finish if they can. Mehdi Wamri is subbed on. Looks to be for Mark Bronick, who had subbed on himself in this second half. So Wamri on, Bronick off. Final 90 seconds. Going to have to get something forward. To Hernandez. And Sugusi tracking it. Okawa looking for it and just sent almost the length of the field by Ostrom.
Just thinking this Route 1 football might have been a good idea if it had started 15-20 minutes ago. Only now they're coming in with the big long balls. Pumping up the crowd now, Union Omaha, because they're virtually there. They've done the job. They've been super well organized.
The traveling supporters right down in that section as well as they defend here.
El Farolito are beginning to wonder how that $50,000 is going to be spent. having shelved their plans at 2-1, they're pulling the plans back out now and saying, well, what can we do for the team? How can we improve things? And if they do get that money, it's more than well deserved for a brilliant victory over Monterey Bay last night.
Only a 135-mile drive back home this evening for Omaha. If they can hold on and celebrate the whole way, they'd certainly enjoy it, but maybe one last chance for Des Moines. Hagen deflected out for a goal kick. That might have been the last moment if the corner were given, but the whistle may blow right here. Cole Jensen will put it back into play. They did the double in USL League One last year, Union Omaha. They made it to the round of 32 in this tournament before they fell against Sporting Kansas City. They're quarterfinalists from back in 2022, and it looks like their run will continue. There's the final whistle. The Owls fly into the third round, 2-1 over Des Moines.
And I think well deserved. They were by far the better side, Union Omaha, well organized. And you can see why they're the double champions of USL League One. But credit Des Moines Menace and all those wonderful stars who gave us just a moment of hope that they could get themselves back in. Benny Feilhaber is so clever to win the penalty, get the team back in this match and make a real game of it and give the crowd something special and all the viewers something special to enjoy. But in all fairness, it is the better side, in my opinion, who goes through to the next round. And good luck to Union Omaha from here onwards.
They've never failed to reach at least the third round. In 2023, that was their quote-unquote worst ever performance in this tournament. They lost in the third round on the road against St. Louis City in front of a record crowd. So they're back in the third round again. How far will they go? We'll find out. That draw is tomorrow at 1. And the reason they're going through, the 2 goals in the first half that held up in the end to be enough.
Tion Akoff starts it here. He's going to finish it as well. Puts it wide for Aaron Gomez. He cuts it back, and then Akoff is not marked. He can control the ball and buries it in the back of the net to give the visitors a 1-0 lead.
And then, fast forward a bit, Omaha would continue just breaking through this back line. Ors Navarro in behind. His shot redirected, and then Gomez does the rest.
Sort of spilled as much as redirected by Enzo Cavalli, who I thought had a really good game, but that moment, perhaps the keeper could have done a bit better. Aaron Gomez in the right place, and then Benny Feilhaber just feels that arm on his shoulder. That's all he needed. Down he went to not only win the penalty, but also, as it happens, there was a second yellow card for Brendan Knapp, who gets sent off, and then it was game on.
Benny Feilhaber made no mistake from the spot. Cole Jensen ends up sent the wrong way. Feilhaber scores, but that would be it. They would not find another. This was their best chance to tie it through Nzegussi.
Yeah, this was the only real chance they made in the entire match. Goalkeeper didn't need to come, I don't think, Cole Jensen. He's very lucky that Nzegussi didn't chip him, but all the stats will be in favor of Union Omaha. 17 shots to 6, 11 on target to 3. But just look at the second half. Des Moines Menace came back. They made a fight of it. They had an XG of 0.96, although most of that is actually the penalty. 1.93 for Union Omaha. They were the better side, and they will progress.
And you got 2 more games you can flip over to now. Tacoma Defiance hosting Spokane Velocity, up 1-0 a half an hour into it. And then kicking off momentarily, Ventura County hosting El Paso. That'll do it for us here this evening. Congrats to El Farolito, by the way, pocketing $50,000 now in prize money, as Des Moines Menace, the last amateur team standing beside El Farolito, have faltered against Union Omaha. Thanks for the memories to the MLS retirees who came once again into this tournament, but they go no further. For the crew that makes this possible, broadcast partner Gary Bailey, I'm Joe Malpa saying so long for now. Flip over to those other games, and remember, tomorrow, 1 Eastern, Golazo Network, the third round draw here in the Open Cup. Congrats to Union Omaha.